Stefan here. I just want to give you a quick update on how things are going in La Paz, Mexico since I arrived a few days ago. The reason why I'm here is to communicate science that's being done in the area. When I first arrived, one of the first things that I did is hook up with Whaleshark researcher Dení Ramírez to learn about the research that she's doing with whale sharks.
They are sharks. They are the biggest shark in the world. So there are several rules that we need to follow. As the boat, we can be maximum of 3 knots. We have to keep a distance with the shark for 5 meters. So our study is based a lot on the photo identification. So it's the first thing that we go once we get into the water, to take the picture on the left side. Then we see if they are males or females. So basically we need to do a quick dive under the pelvic fin.
It was a female, about 4 meters. It was clean, nothing curious.
We also do like a quick scan on the sharks, and we record injuries on the body.
Sadly, the first whale shark that I saw when we jumped into the water, it had these massive cuts along its back. The first thing I thought was, wow, this whale shark is clearly in a lot of pain here. You could see the flesh and the tissue and the cartilage, and on closer look I realized that it wasn't just the one cut, but it had actually been sliced 3 times, once along the head, once in the center, and once on the tail. All of these cuts were really severe, and you could see on the tail that there was quite a lot of dead tissue there. Coming back onto the boat, I asked Dení how many of these whale sharks do they usually see with injuries like this? And I was really shocked to hear that approximately 60% of the whale sharks that they see in this area have got damage from boats.
It's important to say that that shark is the one that I have seen more badly damaged during my entire research. Like a month ago is when it was damaged with the tail, and because the petroleum boat, we knew that it was a private boat that came to the Whaleshark area and hit the shark, and then the petroleum boat went and asked to leave.
Oh wow, so they know the actual boat that hit it?
The tail. And after submitting the pictures, we learn all the story of the shark. Like a week before, we saw him clean, just with the cut on the tail, and then in a few days it was damaged.
This is a really strong example of what can happen when things go wrong and when boats collide with these animals. Unfortunately, they've got habits of staying really close to the surface, which means they're quite vulnerable to boat traffic. Dení explained to me that they've been coming up with strategies to reduce this kind of thing happening.
Here is a small population. Normally we have like 60 or 70 whale sharks during the entire season, and we were having more boats than whale sharks. And finally, this season we changed a lot the rules. So now is the first year we are using a carrying capacity of only 14 boats doing the whale shark activity at the same time. Also, all the boats now they have a GPS. So on real time, the government can see if they are in a high speed or they are working properly, or if they are too close, and then that means that there are more than 1 boat per whale shark. And now we have petroleum. Every day we have petroleum on the area. So I'm very happy about all the change that is been doing this season. Hopefully we will able to decrease the injuries on the sharks, and so I'm looking forward to end the season and to see how all of this change have helps for the whale sharks.
Okay, I just got back from my second day out with Dení, and we saw another 6 whale sharks. The conditions were great today, and I did manage to get my drone up. Dení has a permit because she's really interested to see the interactions between the snorkelers and the whale sharks. So the rules are not to get within 1 meter of the whale shark and 2 meters of the tail. And what Dení is interested in is the actual movements of the whale shark once the people have entered the water. I did manage to film one interaction between a boatload of snorkelers and a whale shark, and it was pretty interesting. The whale shark was approaching these divers, and There were a couple of people that were doing the right thing, getting out of the way of the whale shark, but there was one girl, I don't think she had any fins on, she didn't really seem comfortable in the water, I don't think she had her face in the water, so she ended up kind of swimming directly over the whale shark, which is one thing that they're really trying to avoid. I think what we learned from that one is make sure that your mask is on your face before you enter the water, and also it's probably a good idea to wear fins so you can get away from the whale shark if it's approaching you. I think the main lessons that I've learned over the last few days is these new rules and restrictions that have been put in place are super important. Having said that, it is really sad to see that whale sharks are still getting hit by boats, but it's just really a reminder of the importance of these rules in the first place. I would highly recommend going out with Dení if you are interested to learn more about these amazing animals. She does run internships and volunteer programs where you can learn all about the photo identification and all of the research that they are doing. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested to learn a little bit more. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. Have you been out snorkeling with the whale sharks here in La Paz? Do you think these new restrictions are enough? And what do you think the best way is to avoid these sort of boat collisions happening in the future? Next up, I'm off to Cabo Pulmo to document the success of the marine conservation area down there, which was initiated in 1995 when the fishermen were noticing that there weren't that many fish around. So they united and they protected the area, and since have seen huge increases in the biomass of fish. I'm looking forward to sharing more of these stories soon, so stay tuned for more from Baja California.